Hi guys, I've been waiting for a release of this flashlight for a long time because Wurrkos TS32 has flood, it has spotlight, it has 3 21700 batteries, built-in fast Type-C charging with power bank mode, good user interface, and all this for affordable price. Let's take a closer look at this flashlight. The package is pretty cheap and the kit includes the flashlight itself, a charging cable, O-rings, a manual and a warranty card. A removable handle and 3 21700 batteries are optional, but I don't see any reason not to buy them. And here is the flashlight itself. It is made in the popular size of soda can, and its design, as usually for Wurrkos, is really simple and cheap. Here, for example, is another flashlight with the same dual light and the same power supply, a Malentomer 90. It is much bigger and way more expensive. And another clear comparison is ASBeam X50.2, which I recently reviewed, and the difference in price is colossal, so is difference in design. Not that it is really necessary to make all this high design stuff, but I don't think it is also really tricky to play around with knurling and make some attractive knurling. The flashlight has a flat wide tail cap, so it is easily tail stand, and the knurling itself is really grippy, and I like the diameter of 3 models. It is really convenient, and once the flashlight heats up really quickly at higher brightnesses, then it would be appropriate to make a hole for the lanyard also in the body, not only in handle. As you can see, the flashlight can be mounted on the tripod since the thread here is standard one. As usually for soda can models, flashlight can be divided into a head and a cup for batteries. You can unscrew the tail cap and see the reverse side of the board with contact springs. Springs are thick, bypassed. Of course, there is no spring at the side of the head, as usually in such cases. There is a contact ring. And Saphirn added adapter for flat top batteries. Great, almost any 21700 battery is flat top. And by the way, to my surprise, the flashlight worked perfectly without this adapter, but it's better to use it. The head is large and wide, and the buttons are convenient, and it is just really easy to operate this flashlight with two buttons. As you can see, there is a Type-C charge connector on the opposite side of the head, and it is really secure cover of this charge connector because it is just thick and deep. What about optic? Glass with enlightenment and anti-reflective coating. Below it are dozen LEDs, and I've got XPL2 and LH351D, two versions, and now only LH351D, no XPL at all. But new Nichia 590A may be available as well, and that's a good news, as this is high quality LED with just HiCRI and all the stuff you need as experienced user. And in the center is a relatively compact for a long-range flashlight, smooth reflector with SVT40 LED. However, this is a good bright and very long-range LED which knocks out 55.5 kilocandles, and that's quite good for a reflector of this size. As a result, we've got another Wurrkos Saphirn, a flashlight that in most cases is as inferior to the hyped, fat, expensive models in design as it is superior to them in functionality. User interface is classical user interface, and it is convenient one, and the fact that buttons are duplicated makes it possible to set different modes for each light, like low for spot and medium for flood light. For the rest, you've got everything you need. Lock, unlock, instant turbo, instant moonlight. You can switch between ramping and stepped classic brightness adjustment. That is a user interface I really like, and there is nothing to complain about it. I believe this is the best user interface you can get. Okay, stabilization and thermoregulation. Spotlight is stabilized in all modes below turbo, and flood is not stabilized at all. Of course, there will be some thermoregulation zigzags, and it depends on temperature outside. For example, if you use a flashlight from October to April, and especially in winter, there will be one situation with thermoregulation. And when you use a flashlight somewhere in the desert when it's hot, you may face these zigzags really earlier. So it's just overall idea of what you can expect in matter of run time. And the light itself. Everything is wonderful about the light. This is exactly the sort of light that a lot of people would like to have. This is the flashlight with bright floody light, and at the same time this is the flashlight with good spot. It gives you ability to work at near range and to work at larger range at the same time. And don't forget that if you buy LH351D version, it is HiCRI option, and Nichia 590A may also be available soon or already available by the time you watch this video. Both these LEDs are HiCRI, and they are way better than light of flashlight by some big brands. This is high quality light. That's not only lumens, there is also the quality of light. And I hope that you see the difference between cold white light of XPL2 and LH351D light. So it's quite sufficient light for absolutely all ordinary needs, and will make it possible to highlight anything within a radius of 300 meters, and that's a good radius for spotlight. At 200 meters it gives a wonderful light in brightness. And for actually, how often do you use a long throw flashlight when work at farther distances? I bet normally it is just 200-300 meters. And the biggest advantage for me is the ability to turn both lights on. This makes Wurrkos TS32 an exceptionally interesting searchlight that will allow you to illuminate both near and far at the same time. However, for me, such a general light is limited to medium and medium for spot and flood, because brighter mode will already heat up the flashlight and start this thermoregulation zigzags. But visually, medium and medium is exactly what you need. Floodlight is already bright enough to illuminate everything around at a distance of like 15 meters, and the spotlight confidently breaks through 100 meters. Okay, time has come for overall impressions, and all the impressions are so good. I've been waiting for Wurrkos TS32 since the time I've seen news about this flashlight in Facebook or BLF, I don't remember, and it was too tempting to get a truly versatile flashlight for relatively small price. The flashlight with convenient user interface, with high brightness and throw, with a wonderful runtime by 321-700 batteries and built-in charging. Actually, charging here can be improved, just add some watts to it to last shorter. And you know, all this is for frankly affordable price. That's not really budget flashlight as most of Wurrkos and Sapphire models, but this is flashlight that cost like 1/3 or 1/4 of what big brand would ask you for the same functionality. And as usually, big brand will just offer you nothing but cold white, no HiCRI at all, just as many lumens as possible, and sacrifice the quality of light. And Wurrkos didn't develop this flashlight in secret. They were opened for feedback by users, and people just made their suggestions. So by the time flashlight was released, all the stuff that should be taken into account was taken into account, and that is really good approach, unlike the approach of other brands who just release flashlight and then start to realize that here's the bug and here is another bug and something needs to be done with it. There is nothing what can be found in Wurrkos TS32. This is the good flashlight as is, and I really like it. I really like that you can use flashlight for near range, and you can use flashlight to work at some really large range, and I believe that anyone will like this opportunity. Like, you go fishing and you can illuminate a float 50 meters away from you and then switch and comfortably light up path under your feet to camping site, and you can fill a whole hangar with light, hangar 18, and you can reach the top of a neighboring mountain. So there are few use from TS32 in city and on the scale of a garden, of course. What I'm trying to say, this is a really good flashlight for its price, really good. This is sort of the jack of all trades in a good way. And if you like it, just check below video for links to store where we can buy it, for discount codes. And if you already have this flashlight, feel free to comment, I appreciate it. That's actually all. I hope you liked this flashlight and video. Bye!